Welcome back to Rap and Wrestling, ladies and gentlemen. It's your boy T the Monster coming at you per usual, live and direct here in my studio, of course. And of course, if you are new to Rap and Wrestling, please be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And we're going to get right into a Raw recap today. And before we do, I just want to know, what was your favorite part about Monday Night Raw last night? What did you love about it? So be sure to like and comment, put that comment down in the comment box down there below. Let's get right into it. I got my notes. So the first segment, of course, was CM Punk comes out. He tells everyone he's pissed off. Basically, he tells everyone he's mad at himself and he's mad at that fat penguin Paul Heyman. So he goes off. He's cutting a promo talking about how upset he is about what happened at Mania. His friend turning his back on him. Seth comes out with Braun Breaker, and of course they send Braun Breaker to the ring and they attack CM Punk. Sammy jumps the rail and all that kind of stuff too. So my question is, with everything that took place with that, is there going to be a third person that's going to be introduced to this group with Braun Breaker and Seth Rollins? Everything's pointing toward a yes, with the odds being, of course, Sami Zayn, CM Punk, and of course Roman Reigns all being kind of tied to this feud, of course, with Paul Heyman. And then of course on the other side you got Braun Breaker and Seth Rollins, which is of course only two, so of course they're going to eventually need a third one. And then obviously that brawl set up toward a match at Saturday night's main event with Seth Rollins and Braun Breaker, of course, versus Sami Zayn and CM Punk. Now it'll be interesting to see what happens with that. How will they finish that match? Is that when the third person will debut? I'm curious to see. I think the third person will debut then, and then Roman returns, and then they got some help. After that, of course, we had Chad Gable versus Penta. Now, this was, of course, a good match. These two have squared off somehow as in a different universe. Maybe Chad Gable is El Grande Americano. They feuded off in some different alternate universe in that case. But I love the fact that there was a Mexican destroyer off that rope and going on to Chad Gable, and he got the win off of that, of course, too, which is good. So, of course, Penta's still looking strong and things like that going forward. His booking's been kind of not spotty, but like he's won there, he's lost there, which is good, you know, versus them just kind of building him to win all the time, which is good. After that, of course, we had the War Raiders versus the Creed Brothers. Now, these two teams are two teams that I believe need some work in the tag division over there on Raw. I say that because, like, they don't really speak too much on the mic. They really just get in the ring and wrestle, which is cool. You know, that's fine and everything too, but they need some kind of personality. I don't see any War Raiders merch. I don't see any Alpha Academy merch or Creed Brothers merch. And it's not that they can't wrestle, it's just that, all right, they needs to be relatable. Like, we've kind of seen the Creed Brothers gimmick before with Kurt Angle, Charlie Haas, and Shelton Benjamin. We've seen that already, literally, like it's a clone of that. We've seen that already. War Raiders is like, all right, is this natural to them? Like, after watching the interview that I saw, I forgot which War Raider it was, but he basically said, like, Vince McMahon came to them and told them, pick a name, pick which one you're going to be. You know, you're going to be Ivar, or I forgot the name of the other guy, and that's sad. I should know the names of them. They're supposed to be a tag team that's supposed to be up and coming. The fact that I can only remember one tag team name is crazy, and I can't even remember the Alpha Cat or the Creed Brothers' full names, and that's crazy. And these are supposed to be teams that you're building. That tells me that if you're trying to build them, I need to know their names. So again, great match with these two teams, of course. I love how there was the superplex into the superplex into the moonsault off the top rope. Again, these two teams, they can wrestle, they can go, they have moves, they can move in the ring and everything. It's just that charisma wise, we got to get that taken care of and build them, like, for real. Someone in WWE needs to get that taken care of. I see they're hiring writers. Maybe they should hire me, because, like, god damn it, let's get these two teams connecting. Like, it shouldn't just be the OG New Day on top of the tag division sitting there with the belts trying to bring everybody up. I mean, it should be, you know, that's their job, but like, they need some help in like helping bring these tag teams up. We need to get some people who are already established. But going forward, of course, moving into the next segment, we had Jey Uso. He came out there, of course, and as he's talking about Logan Paul and everything, and the YouTuber and all this kind of stuff, Gunther comes out, of course, and he interrupts him. And of course, before Jey Uso even came out, he had met with Adam Pearce and kind of like spoke with him, and he confirmed something. So what's basically going to happen is, after the amazing promo that's, again, Gunther's getting better and better on mic work, which I love. what's happening is after Saturday night's main event, the winner between Jey Uso and Logan Paul will face Gunther. Now, chances are this is probably going to be Jey Uso, right? And they'll face them. I think it's going to be at Money in the Bank where this will take place. Now, in that, it's like, okay, we get Jey versus Gunther 3. What happens? Like, is this going to be a flip flop of the belt? That's the first thing I thought of when I heard this and I saw this. I'm like, all right, so Jey finna either win at Saturday night's main event and then give the belt back to Gunther, or it's gonna be like a long story feud that's gonna be between Gunther and Jey Uso that may go into the rest of the year, because I can't really see anything else going from that. But another thing I want to talk about is Jey Uso be gassed, man. Like, goddamn, he just be gassed from standing there and coming out from the entrance. And it's like, again, high energy entrance, of course. High energy entrance, and I love that because I've never, ever in the history of my watching of wrestling of 30 plus years, I've never seen anyone demand an encore on back-to-back weeks for an entrance. So for that alone, that tells me Uso is over, and I understand why they gave him the belt and things like that too. It's just that, all right, now with him being champ, you got to work on not being gassed getting to the ring, and so you got that energy in the ring, man. And so again, the 4 letters, 1 word, yeet, is like, I can see you taking them deep ass breaths and shit too, Jay. Like, you know, hopefully everything is good. Hopefully it's not like asthma or no shit like that, but like, you know, just make sure you pace your breathing in there, because you about to go in there against Gunther the 3rd time and he gonna chop the fuck out you. But that's pretty much what I got on that segment. We're going to end up getting Jey versus, I think, at Money in the Bank, we're going to get Jey versus Gunther 3. We'll see if they add somebody else to it. Next segment after that, of course, we had Finn Balor versus AJ Styles. Now, they gave us this match for free, and they gave us this match with commercials. This match could have been saved for a PLE. You got 2 Bullet Club bosses going at it with each other in the ring, and like, there's chemistry there. I think they've only faced each other in WWE 4 times, but obviously if you know the history of these two, they can put on a solid ass, great ass match. Like, they can go into the bag on this one. You can give them 30 minutes and they can put on a fucking barn burner. Like, that's a match that could truly main event WrestleMania. It could. AJ Styles coming in as champ versus Finn Balor, that can main event WrestleMania with the right storyline behind it. It'll be a great match and you'll get the crowd involved into it and all that shit. But I love the fact that this match was on Raw, because it gives like a throwback vibes to the Indies a little bit. And then of course, like I said, the match was too sweet, as cliche as it sounds. It really was. It was a very good match. I just wish it would have got longer time. Of course, AJ went over, and it was interesting to see Penta come out there and do a stuck thizzle too. So of course, that storyline progressing with AJ and Penta, with Penta and the Judgment Day, which leads to the match with AJ and Penta versus the Judgment Day. I think they said that was either next week or Saturday night's main event. I forget which one, so they'll be mad at me. Second to last segment of the night, we had Becky Lynch coming out, and she was basically talking about why she did what she did, and she didn't lose and things like that on Saturday. And to me, honestly, it felt like Becky was rambling on for a little bit, and I'm like, all right, Becky, what are you trying to get to? And I think basically the point of this segment was just to kind of build her as a heel and show that, hey, I'm a top heel, I'm bad, I'm not Becky, Miss Nice Becky anymore, I'm going to get what I want, so on and so forth. And in that, with her rambling, it's like, all right, let's come on, let's bring it back home a little bit. At least that's how I felt. Again, I could be completely wrong. Other people may have felt other things when they watched this, but when I was watching it, this is what I felt. So it'll be interesting to see what happens with Becky and Lyra going forward. Obviously, this feud is going to continue, I believe, and let's see what happens. Now, our main event, of course, them showcasing the women still. I believe this is building up toward Evolution, as I meant before, or as I mentioned before in previous episodes. Our main event were, of course, 4 amazing women in the ring. You had Roxanne Perez and Julia versus Io Sky and Rhea Ripley, 2 women's heavyweight champions on one side versus 2 new and up-and-comers who can possibly take over the WWE in that division going forward in the future. Now, in this match, I think the match was pretty good. It was a pretty solid match. It was a pretty solid match to my standards. At least it looked pretty good. There were a couple of blunders in there with maybe miscommunications and miscues, but I think that comes from them being like in the ring with each other with someone who are newer, maybe the jitters of main eventing a Monday Night Raw from the newer women. But other than that, I do think the match was pretty good, and it was nice to see them get in there and mix it up with two veterans or who are champions and who are basically in the upper card of the roster of the women's division, just to kind of give them that experience and just to kind of show them, hey, this is where you're going to be. This is what you need to be doing when you get here. So good job for Rhea and Io, of course, just to kind of give them that experience and help them in the ring, help them like get spots and things like that help get spots called and things like that, just to kind of help those women and give them that experience for the main event. But that's what I think about what happened on Monday Night Raw last night. What do you think happened? Or how do you feel about what happened last night on Monday Night Raw? Be sure to put that down there in the comments, of course. And if you haven't, please be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. We're trying to reach 10,000 subscribers by the end of the year. And as I mentioned before in previous episodes, we're trying to get WrestleMania to here in Detroit by 2030. Let's see what they do. Until then, I'll see you next week. Peace!